Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of the No Quest Hardcore Iron Man. It's Preseering from the future here, substituting for Preseering from a year ago, who's got a very bad case of a terrible intro. But what I think I wanted to say is, in this episode, I will be training a lot of mining and my place of choice is Motherlode Mine. Not only because it banks a lot of smithing supplies, but also because it banks a lot of gold ore, and I will be using the gold ore to train crafting later on, to unlock our necklace for Slayer. So with that, we're gonna go back to the original commentary and I hope you'll enjoy. Here we have the first level of the video and a big one at that, 85 mining, and that obviously means Runite. So from this point on we should be banking some pretty serious GP with the rune ore from here. Sadly that means we need even more coal, because without Blast Furnace, each runite ore takes up 8 coal, which is atrocious. But since we can alch the items for 10k GP, well, that's fine. Both of my accounts are AFKing at this point, so I decided to take a little advantage of that and did some superheating of iron in Mining Guild. Honestly, probably just because that's one of my favorite methods in the game, and I really like it. So here's 77 magic, and if we had access to Lunars, that would unlock Super Glassmake. If only. And since I'm in the Mining Guild anyway, I also wanted to snag a quick Runite ore, and I saw one rock up, so I just had to get it. Here we have 90 mining, very clean level. There we go, here's level 92 mining, and that unlocks Amethyst, finally something I can get. And also, in the spare hours of mining iron, I did manage to get 240 unidentified minerals. So here from Bellona we can buy the mining gloves and the superior mining gloves, and then with the remaining 60 we can ask her to merge them together into superior mining gloves. Not superior, expert mining gloves, yes. Can you combine my mining gloves? Yes, that's fine. Please combine. Fantastic. And those will help us with Amethyst tremendously, because the effect is there is a 25% chance for the ore not to deplete, and with Amethyst depleting after just one mine, this will make it a lot more AFK. Lastly, I thought this part of the mine I will be able to access with the expert mining gloves, but it requires Falador Diary, I think, Elite, so RIP. Now, when mining Amethyst, people usually bring a chisel with themselves and turn it into ammunition on the spot, but I don't have the crafting level yet, so I will be banking it. The bank is really close, so there shouldn't be too big of an issue. And I think I'm gonna stack like 1,000, maybe 2,000 in the bank. That should be a good amount of Amethyst arrows if and when we spoon T-bow at some point. The Amethyst arrows should be my best in slot obtainable arrows, well, apart from dragon arrows, but those are unreliable at this point. And you could see the mining gloves take an effect here. We just mined an Amethyst and it didn't use up, so that's really great. And here we have it, 2000 Amethyst. I decided to withdraw it in the noted form, since I would like to keep the bank as a surprise for the end of the video. But holy, this took really a long time. It's like 2 weeks since the last clip, so I'm gonna definitely go back to Motherlode now and just power through to 99. 93 mining, 94, 95, 96. A construction level, bet you didn't expect that, 97. 98, absolutely last stretch, can't wait to be done. And here is level 99 mining, absolutely ecstatic to be done with this. The first clip from this episode is from 3.5 months ago. I started in March and now it's halfway through June. And yeah, I think it's time to show the bank everything we got from mostly MLM and a little bit of mining iron here. I will be buying a bunch of packs of gems, bags full of gems, and yeah, so here's what we have: 34,000 gold, 46,000 coal. This is very little when you think about the fact that I can't use Blast Furnace and every runite takes 8 coal, every adamant takes 6 coal, if I just want to use up this adamant alone, not even thinking about mithril or runite, that's like 120,000 coal just for this. So I don't even have enough for a third of my addy. 36,000 mithril, close to 20,000 adamant, and 1,700 runite. Mostly excited about this one. I also mined 11k iron and the 2k amethyst, and we got a little bit of gems. So now, why did I even get 99 mining? Well, I want to get a Fury and a Regen Bracelet before we go back to Slayer. So I decided that instead of buying a lot of sand and soda ash and not getting any XP for it, I will get 99 mining, get some supplies for smithing in the process, and bank a lot of crafting XP. I had to also go and buy a bunch of soda ash and sand to finish off what I need for crafting, but 16k wasn't really all that bad. Okay, so straight to the point. To get the Regen Bracelet, which is my best in slot glove, and the Fury, which is, I'm pretty sure, my best in slot neck, I need 3 things, and that's magic XP, crafting XP, and GP. As for crafting, I think we are pretty set with what we have. So that leaves magic and GP. And I need 84 magic, and then with a magic wizard mind bomb I can boost to enchant the jewelry. But I need about 6 million GP for 2 onyxes and a bunch more GP for runes. And I have 250k to my name. The obvious solution would be to get to 85 fleshing to use up those magic logs, or to like 89 smithing to use up this runite ore, and both of those things won't happen because they are extremely supply heavy, and I don't think I can hit those goals. But I do have another plan. Spent all my unidentified minerals and the golden nuggets, and we bought 92 bags full of gems. And here's the last of them being opened up. I think we got a little unlucky on the uncut dragonstone side, but otherwise this looks fantastic. My crafting XP is already happy. Getting GP and magic XP at the same time, my plan is to camp ogresses. Now, the road here is pretty far for me, since to use any sort of transportation here, you either need the ship, and to use the ship you need to start a quest, or you need a spirit tree, which obviously you need to start a quest too. So the fastest method for me is to run from the fishing trawler all the way down here, and then use this agility shortcut. Now, there are 2 dungeons with ogresses, and the one I use on my free-to-play UIM is the Dragon Slayer one, which, as the name suggests, requires Dragon Slayer. And since this is the no quest hardcore, once again, we need to use the common dungeon, and I never actually hunted here, so I don't know any safe spots. That will be a work in progress, but I plan to stay here for as long as possible. I have a bunch of runes, and ogresses drops bunch more. And since this is a grind I'm accustomed to, I kind of know what to expect, and the GP and the runes should be good, so yeah, that's the plan for now. Fast forward 3 weeks, now I really think this video is gonna take like half a year to finish, but I am committed to getting the Fury and the Regen Brace at this point, so we're not stopping. This is the entire loot I got from ogresses. A lot of gems, some arrows, 86 ensouled ogre heads, that's like 60k prayer, so that's very nice. A bunch of runes, most importantly law runes. I was running really short on laws, and this 1600 is a blessing. There is no law rune shop without any quest access except the wilderness, and I don't really want to go there, so this is gonna go really far. I had to kind of save my laws. I got less than 100, so this is amazing. And 3400 chaos runes. We need like 57,000 chaos runes in total for 2 onyxes, so this isn't much, but every little bit helps. And a little bit over 1 million GP. Now this is after I paid for all the mind runes that I bought. So I deposited the gold that I spent on mind runes back in the bank, so this is pure profit. Anyways, enough talking about the inventory, let's alch this random bow. And here's 84 magic, so now we can boost to enchant Onyx, and I need to train my crafting now. So the first order of business for training crafting will be smelting all of the gold ore I got from MLM into bars that we can later turn into jewelry. 34,000 gold ore is 765k smithing XP, which is less than half that we would have gotten with goldsmith gauntlets, but alas, I cannot access them. And I'm gonna smelt it all here atop Mount Karulm. We're gonna use the volcanic furnace, and if you watched the series before, you know that this is my favorite furnace by far. It's the closest to the bank, tied with Edgeville, and it doesn't have any annoying roofs on the way, so this is what I'm gonna use. Training smithing is probably the slowest thing I can do on this account. It's one of the hardest skills by far, so if we can get some smithing XP along training crafting, that's just a win-win. A small update, I've smelted a little bit over 6,000 gold bars, so that should be enough for all the jewelry we will be making with the gems we have right now, and a little bit of a buffer for the future. And now I will be taking my gold ore here together with a tiara mold, because at the same time, after we smelt an inventory, we can start turning the gold into jewelry, and I will be making gold tiaras. Now, I thought these would require Guardians of the Rift, because gold tiaras came out together with Guardians of the Rift, but actually they don't. You don't need to start any quests for this, and this is by far the most XP per pure gold bar you can get. They're worth close to nothing, where gold bracelets would give us a little bit of GP, but the increase in XP is, I think, really worth it. So we have like 28,000 gold ore to make into tiaras, and that will be just a little bit under 1 million crafting XP. And that's level 84 crafting. The last one we will get from gold bars. I think I have like 500 left. And now it's time to go into gems. Well, let me show you the bank. I actually never cut any gems on this account ever. Even in an episode or two ago where I was making Rings of Forging, I deliberately went and bought rubies from the shops that were cut already, so I can say in this clip right here that I never cut any gems, so this is extremely exciting to have all of these gems to cut, and that will be a very big chunk of crafting XP. That was extremely enjoyable. All the gems are now cut. We're at 85 crafting and the XP was amazing. Now it's time to make them all into jewelry, and the very short rundown of making jewelry is amulets give the most XP and bracelets give the most GP. So I will be making my diamonds into bracelets and a little bit of rubies as well. But for rubies, I mostly want to make a bunch of Rings of Forging because they will be useful in training smithing later on. And as for sapphires and emeralds, I will just make them into amulets. I don't think they're worth making into bracelets. I would gladly take the little bit more crafting XP than their slightly increased value. Another update done with all the jewelry. If we check how much this is all worth, it shows 3.3 mil, but Napkin Math says I will get about 1.5 mil GP from selling and alching all of this, so that is pretty good, actually. Let me deposit all this. So now I have 86 crafting, and it's time to use up some amethyst, but using all of this up, making arrow tips will not get me to 87. So after that, I will be making all of the sand and ash into molten glass, and just by making that and banking, we will cross the 87 crafting threshold, and that is enough to start making Dorgishan light orbs. And that will hopefully get us to 89, which will be the level we are getting. And here's the long-awaited not 89 but 90 crafting. Turns out I did have the supplies for 90 and I don't have to boost now, which is just fantastic. Also, shout out to this bank by the coal burners in Hosidius. This bank actually doesn't stop random events from spawning, so I did get 2 Dr. Jekylls here, so that's plus 2 stamina potions. And there's also an Impling spawner here, but I don't have enough of a hunting level to get some Implings. So now it's time to start raking in benefits and make the upgrades. And before we go and make some jewelry, I went ahead and killed a couple dragons, which was really sussy because I don't have any dragonfire protection except for prey magic, but that was enough. I safe spotted some black dragons in Taverley and we got 6 black leather, so that should be enough to make an entire black d'hide set, which will be a big upgrade not only for range training but also for magic defense for stuff like worms. And here's the vambraces. Fantastic. You might have thought that I should get this from clues, but doing hard clues on a no questing account really is a pain. You have to drop so many of them. And that is if I went to the wilderness. If I didn't, I would have to drop even more. So I'm just glad to be able to make this whenever I need it. Now that we have the magic level and the crafting level, all we need is some GP to buy the chaos runes and we should be good to go, right? Huh. Luckily, thanks to our friends at the OSRS wiki, I saw another method of obtaining enough Tokkul, and it's selling runite. And we do have a lot of runite from Motherlode Mine. You need 233 runite ore to have enough Tokkul for 1 onyx, but there is a big downside. You have to sell them one by one and then hop, because the price drops significantly. So I sold all of the chaos runes that I had. That gave me about 50k Tokkul, and for the rest I just hopped one by one and sold 1 runite ore. And here we go, 400 hops later, here's 520,000 Tokkul, which is enough for 2 onyxes. Let's buy one and hop one more time. In case you're curious, this is pretty much exactly the same GP cost that it would have cost me to buy chaos runes. We just don't have to spend the GP now, but we won't get that much GP later when I have the smithing level to use runite. But I think the GP is way more important now at this stage of account than it will be later, so I will happily just do the runite method, especially since smithing is so slow on no quest that it might take me a long time to get to 89, I think, to make rune swords. So yeah, we have 2 onyxes now. The obvious downside was that we had to hop 400 times, but now that I have them, I'm just really glad this grind is coming to a close. It's time. Let's make 1 onyx bracelet. And let's make 1 onyx amulet, string it, and let's enchant them both. Oh, fuck. I forgot the wizard mind bob. That didn't happen, you didn't see nothing. Let's enchant them. And we have 2 new best in slot items with the Regen bracelet and the Amulet of Fury on the no quest hardcore Iron Man. The first clip of this video is from March, which was 5 months ago. Feels surreal to be done with this, and I can finally go back to Slayer. I don't think I have any more excuses. It's 100% Slayer time, and that's what we're gonna do starting next episode. For this time, I think that's enough for this time. So I hope you all enjoyed, hope you had a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye. Oh, one last thing that I forgot, and I would like to include this in this episode, even though I already started recording the next one. We can actually make amethyst darts. We can make the dark tips, which are usually the parts that are gate-kept by the tourist trap quest. And then if I had the fletching level, I could be able to attach the feathers to this. There is absolutely no quest requirement for this whatsoever. And these are, to my knowledge, the only darts I can use as a no quest, which is probably really useful because they're, I think, the fastest ranged weapon.